Hey guys, subscribe for daily content. And if you're shopping for gear, make sure you check out the description for the newest items at some of the very best online retailers. There's also links for some of the items that I personally recommend. Thanks! What's going on YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I've got an interesting knife unboxing to share with you guys. This is a knife that I've heard the name before, and I've had many of you guys in the comment section tell me, you gotta check this out. See if you can get your hands on one. Well, thanks to my buddy Derek, who sent me a whole bunch of knives that I have never experienced. Thank you so much, Derek. That's Sever7. Make sure you guys subscribe to Sever7 on YouTube. But thanks to Derek, I now have one that I can check out, at least on loan. I don't get to keep this. Thanks to my patrons for supporting me, and make sure that your notifications are turned on for the Metal Complex YouTube channel. So this is a custom knife maker. This is Prince Custom Knives. To my knowledge, they are based in Texas. These are US made knives. I took a quick glance at the website. They've been winning awards at Blade Show and I think others since 2019, a whole bunch of awards. So this has some weight behind it. This has, I would say, more than whispers behind it. This sounds very, very interesting. And today we are just doing a first impressions. I'm not doing a deep dive or anything like that, no review, but I will, absolutely. So let's go ahead and open this up. This was, sent to me by Derek, so I don't know if it's everything that it originally comes with, but it says the Protean knurled. It says serial number 135 20 CV blade, TC4 frame set, okay. And here is the, it looks like we've got some additional bearings here, rocket glide rings, good deal. And here is the knife. Very, very cool. I do like the knurling. I say diamond texturing. I mean, I know that they're like technically two different things here. This is a soft knurling. I think there was a custom knife maker that I experienced knurling on a knife for the first time, and it was like super aggressive. It was like workshop aggressive knurling, right? This makes me think of like, like a new gym opens and they buy brand new equipment. The knurling on the bars is a bit aggressive, but after a few years, it gets worn down. It's very soft, and it's just kind of like your grip zone. That's kind of what it makes me think of, is a worn grip texture on a well-loved regular bar. So very cool. We have a nice polished pivot there. It looks to be bigger than T8 to me, maybe even bigger than T10. Maybe I can check that here. Steel lock bar insert. Look how they do the knurling on the frame lock itself. That's very, very cool. Absolutely beautiful, and large size fasteners back there as well. There's the back spacer. Okay, so it looks like maybe reverse flick opening here. Very nice. We have, I don't know if we'd like call that kind of an acidy blade there. Let's see if we are actually extending the bevel on both sides. So this widening of the bevel is absolutely intentional. You can see it there on both sides. Looks to be a polished edge as well. Very cool. Ergonomically, jimping, extremely functional. Really like that. We have the logo only on the spine. Looks like it. No, I love this. No billboarding at all on the show side or the non-show side. Do we have anything here? Nope. It's just like pivot, internal residue, or residue? Is that the right word? How's the action? Extremely smooth. So the pivot action here, where's the transition? Hold on a sec. Hold on. A couple of things I want to cover here. I'm just feeling this out and realizing we need to find out where that detent ball is and where it's actually transitioning. So there it is. But we have a ramp that makes it, I've only actually felt exactly this on one other knife. We have a ramp or an area where the detent ball transitions. Right there. It's just like a tunnel. That's why I can't feel it. Right there. Gee, bye-bye. Yeah, and now it's up on the face of the blade. So that is a ridiculously smooth transition. There is no... It's smooth and very controlled, but I can't feel I can't feel it at all. No transition, and I also cannot feel the bearings at all. And this is what separates inexpensive drop shut and premium pivot action. Drop shut action is now common and easy to accomplish, right? Now, what I'm describing is not something that necessarily translates to meaningful utility. It's just something that I find to still be present on super, expensive knives that is usually not present on regular production knives. That is the case here. This type of action, like you can get fall shut action on some Civivi knives, for example, and that can be due to the weight of the blade in combination with the fact that it's running on bearings. But what you'll notice if you have one of those knives in your pocket, and I like Civivi knives, right? You move that pivot, you move the blade, and you can feel, your senses will pick up. Yes, what I'm feeling in there, the little rotations and the little bumps and things, those are the bearings sort of rolling over the top of the surface. And that's fine. It doesn't mean that there's anything wrong with your knife. In fact, I expect it at that price point, even up into, sometimes the multi-$100 territory, you're still going to feel that a little bit. Once you get into a higher tier of knives, not all of them, but some knife makers will go out of their way to eliminate that completely. And in this case, we have even eliminated the feeling of transition for the detent ball riding up onto the blade. Like, okay, PM2 will disengage the compression lock, and right there, this is the point where the detent ball is ready to go up on the face of the blade, but it's caught there at that ledge. So we push, and there's the transition. You can see it, right? Right there. You can even hear it, the detent ball falling back off. Right there. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. In fact, a lot of people prefer there to be a distinct feeling there so that they know, right? Some knives are even designed to catch there intentionally so that you can push them down into the closed position. In this case, that has been eliminated completely. Not only is there no opportunity whatsoever for double clutch, it makes the knife incomprehensibly smooth. Incomprehensibly smooth. The other thing here is that blade is ridiculously thin. Now, I don't know if Derek has been carrying and using this. I don't know if this is absolutely the factory edge. Boy, it feels pretty glassy smooth. But just when I cut a little piece of paper. Whoops, I should have. There we go. I cut that like straight on. Very, very nice. Very clean cut. No tears or anything like that. Very, very nice. So this is really cool. I think there's a few different variations of the Protean available, and I've seen, I think, knives, it's either Knives Plus, Knife Shit Free, one of those. When I Googled this, I found that there were retailers that carry it, and then they are sometimes available on his website as well. So, no blade play, absolutely no hint of lock stick, pivot lash, anything like this. Very, very nice. Very cool. This is going to be, and I'm sure people have already looked up the price because I'll have a link down there. This is not a Chinese knife, right? So even though, you can get titanium and 20 CV from a Chinese company nowadays for $180, and it'll be made extremely well. You can get it for less, but I don't know if we always trust all of that. For companies that are known to execute properly and heat treat blades properly, you can get these materials from a Chinese company for $180. Not the same tier. Does not operate by the same rules. And again, it's okay if you find, knives like this to be too expensive. There's a difference between too expensive and overpriced. A lot of people like to use the word overpriced when they mean it's too expensive for them. It can be too expensive for you, right? I'm not going to fork over that much money for that type of object. That's completely and totally fine. It does not change the fact that something like this, building something like this in a small shop in the USA and executing it this way, right? It doesn't change the fact that costs substantially more money to create, right? And fortunately for knife makers who create this stuff, there is a very healthy market for these. It's not nearly as large as the market of people who are seeking out a $100 to $200 knife. That's a much larger market. But that does not mean that objects like these are not justified. I'm the type of person who intentionally goes out of his way to purchase stuff like this because not only do I like supporting, like the smaller Shop USA guys, but I also really, really specifically like, the USA made elements, and I love it when they go out of their way to make little systems operate in increasingly, infinitely smoother. This isn't a very well-structured sentence or explanation. I like it when they go out of their way to take systems that work just fine and improve them to an incomprehensible level. I think it's really, really spectacular. So this is very, very impressive. I'd like to do some research and find out all of the different variations, all of the different models, things like that. But this appears to just be phenomenal. And by the way, ergonomically, very, very comfortable. I like that there's a little spot right here. This is, for me, a full 4-finger grip knife. Very, very easy to manipulate. I think the detent strength is just about perfect. Little click there. Little metallic ting there, too. Hold on. Something. What was I hearing? I don't know. Yeah, ease of manipulation's all there for sure. Let's measure it real quick. And another thing I want to do before I end the video is weigh it because it feels pretty lightweight. So overall length of the Protean, 7 1/8. Blade length is, I'm going to measure it at 3.35 and cutting edge is about 3. So weight real quick on this guy, which almost certainly milled out. Yeah, floating backspacer too. I'm going to guess that this is shy of 4, but maybe that's wishful thinking. Aha! 3.5. Wow. Very, very good ratios for a full titanium knife. Excellent. Okay. Was there anything else in here that I missed? I don't think so. I'll give you guys a look at the card one more time. I will link to his website down in the description. Thank you again to Derek for sending this in. Please make sure to follow me on Instagram at metal_complex. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I do or don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on that Metal Complex logo right there and subscribe because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.